Good day, everyone. I'm Jeff Cowen. I'm the current board president of the Lake Tahoe Community College Board of Trustees, and I welcome you all to the 2024 State of the College Address. As we come together as an educational community in Lake Tahoe, we acknowledge that we are gathered on the historical lands of its original inhabitants, the Washoe tribe. A land acknowledgement is a recognition of indigenous communities in the stewardship and protection of their cultural resources and homelands. We recognize the Washoe tribe and their native lands, and we honor these ancestral grounds upon which we are collectively gathered. And we support the strength and resilience that the Washoe continue to show. So now, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, welcome everyone to Coyote Country. I want to send a special thanks and welcome to our many community partners who are with us today, to my fellow Board of Trustees, and to our incoming student trustee, Dorian Guzman. As we head into another beautiful fall, it's exciting to see a sense of normalcy returning to campus, especially in its facilities. Now, the board continues to be highly supportive of President Jeff DeFranco's vision and his leadership, and we couldn't be more excited about the state of things at LTCC today. So now, on with the show. Please join me in welcoming Superintendent President Jeff DeFranco to the stage.
Welcome, everyone. Bienvenidos. We literally have a packed house. I don't think there's an open seat up there, so thank you for joining us today. This is one of my favorite days, not because of the speech and the prep that goes into it, but because our community is all here together, right? So thank you for joining us. Jeff, thank you for your introduction. Thank you. We're joined here by Jeff and all our trustees. I want to thank them publicly here for their volunteerism and their service to the college. Can we give them a big thank you? Welcome to our students. It's great to have you here today. Welcome to our staff, faculty, foundation donors and board members, our community partners both within and without of the basin. Thank you for joining us here today. Thank you for everyone on the live stream for showing up. We love to be able to amplify the message of the things that Lake Tahoe Community College is doing. So, still catching my breath up here, a little tech glitch, right, to keep things interesting, keep things on our toes. But welcome to the State of the College Address. This is actually my 8th State of College Address as president. It's hard to believe, the years have flown by and also taken forever. But I could tell you, in this moment, this year, I'm as proud as ever to share with you everything that this college has accomplished and talk to you about Coyote Country. So, why do we have the stage of the college address? Well, it's a one opportunity we get to come together as an extended community and look back at everything we've accomplished, right? It's hard work. We need to celebrate those successes. We can look forward to the future, what's to come. There's celebration, there's honoring of colleagues and students, and hopefully we cultivate a shared vision for the path ahead. Each year has a theme. For this year, we're leaning into the theme of This is Coyote Country. So those of you that are LTCC Coyotes know we often talk about Coyote Country. We usually say, welcome to Coyote Country or bienvenidos. But I feel like this is an opportunity to actually focus on everything that we've accomplished together and who we are as a community. Who saw the slideshow at the end with folks who were sharing what Coyote Country meant to them? Cool, right? So thank you to everyone for sharing. I'll share a little bit about what makes Coyote Country for me. First off, it's this community we serve, the students, the passion and commitment of our faculty and staff, the close working relationship with our partners. So it's all the humans, right, that make Coyote Country unique. But it's certainly this natural environment, right? We would not be Lake Tahoe Community College without Lake Tahoe, right? We're a small campus, beautiful campus, nestled in the mountains. It's something that really makes Coyote Country special. So I do want to take a minute to look back, right? So I don't know if you're like me, you got your nose to the grindstone or to your computer screen, and you don't ever get to sit back and look at the big picture. So sometimes it's good to take that 10,000 foot view and see everything that we have accomplished. So I want you to get comfortable in your seats. This is going to be a couple minutes, relax, and enjoy the views of what Coyote Country is today at Lake Tahoe Community College. Let's take a look. What about this campus? Pretty good place to work. All right, pretty good place to work. And think about this, as we transition to a residential campus, this is a place that students are gonna be able to live and learn, right? That's what I think is so amazing. When we focus on this, the facilities are there, right? They create the sense of place. But at the end of the day, it's about the students that add the vibrancy. It's about the faculty and staff, what's happening inside those classrooms, the support services that are happening. We recorded this on like an early July morning, right? So it's very, very quiet, but it gives you a sense of everything now that the campus has to offer. And so now what do we do with this perfect canvas, right? We have this canvas that provides us what we need. How do we better serve our students and community? How do we make this a great place to both live and learn? So as you can see, just looking at that, if you know very little about LTCC, you know that we are a little college doing big things. And I didn't come up with this. A lot of you have been talking to me about this concept, this idea of little college doing big things. And I know sometimes that's a lot, right? So I want to acknowledge the big things we're doing, and honor those, but then also talk about how we're going to go deeper and strengthen our efforts. Okay, Coyote Country. Another piece of Coyote Country to me is our role and our status as a Hispanic serving institution. So if you don't know this, years ago we reached a threshold where we now serve 25% of our students are Hispanic Latinx. We got this Hispanic serving institution status. We have received a number of grants from the federal government to enhance our efforts to support our Latinx and low income students. But really at the core, Being an HSI is about doing our work in a way that truly serves all students in a way that ensures equitable access and success for these students. And it's time now for us to embrace this status, right? And we're doing more of that. So as I think about this, how does being an HSI be part of Coyote Country? How does it inform the work that we do, the decisions that we make? I'll give a very simple example. Last year, we're thinking about commencement speaker. We're thinking about what commencement speaker would make sense for us as a Hispanic serving institution, right? So it informs our efforts. One of the things we did last year, we brought in Dr. Gina Garcia. If you know Dr. Garcia, you know that she is one of the foremost experts in pink suits and also and Hispanic serving institutions nationwide. And she helped us identify how we could lean into that status. One thing that we've added this year is we're actively working to increase awareness and visibility as our status as a HSI. You'll see signage around campus. So I want folks, when they come into the front door, to be like, oh, Lake Tahoe Community College, Hispanic serving institution. They might not know what that means, right? But hopefully it'll raise a question. Maybe they'll talk to one of the staff, one of their colleagues. What does it mean to be a Hispanic serving institution? Why are we that? So I want to really embrace that status as an HSI as part of our Coyote Country culture. All right, so I shared some information. Here's the question. ¿Quiénes somos?
Somos LTCC.
All right, let's try again. ¿Quiénes somos? Somos LTCC. All right. Oh, I was late on the click. Late on the click. Thank you to some of our Somos LTCC ambassadors for showing up here today. So what this is about, I think sometimes I hear people saying like, oh, that's the Hispanic Serving Institution Department, or those are the Hispanic Serving Institution students. It's like, no, Somos LTCC, it's all of us. We are LTCC, right? So again, you saw some of the ambassadors. Who wants one of those shirts? Well, I got good news for you. We got a stack of them outside, so if you sit through this entire speech, that's your treat at the end. And seriously, I want our community partners to wear them, right? It should be a conversation point. Like, what is Somos LTCC? Why does this matter? You'll see when you look at it, the Somos, it kind of builds off our HSI brand. It's reflective of that. It has the serape pattern and then also an ode to the lake, right? So it's for us to, share a story, and it's a way to signal to our whole community that they are welcome here, right? So speaking of that, we often talk about welcome to Coyote Country, but what we also want to build out is this idea of bienvenidos al territorio de los coyotes, right? So we want that to be part of our message here. This is some new signage, just went up this past weekend in our gym. If you know, the gym is a gathering space for our community. Some of you know Sunday nights, it is the place to be for the soccer league. And I want everyone to come in, whether they're an English speaker or a Spanish speaker, to feel that sense of welcoming from our campus. All right, so another piece of Coyote Country, I'm gonna move on here, is our commitment to students. And we've been doing that recently through Guided Pathways efforts. And as a reminder, Guided Pathways isn't an initiative, it's a way to really transform how we do business. Demystifying higher education for our students, becoming a student-ready college, right? In the past, fewer than half of community college students were achieving their educational goals. That's not good enough from where I sit, and I'm assuming from where you sit as well. So what can we do to help them succeed? There are the 4 pillars of Guided Pathways. I know many of you are experts on this, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but some of us are new and wanna make sure we're all on the same page. And it's this idea of how do we change our business to make it easy for students to get on the path, ensure learning, complete, graduate, and move on. So I wanna go into each of the 4 pillars in a little more detail. The first pillar is clarify the path. And we've done a lot of good work here. We've established meta majors, we've done strategic enrollment management, we reduced our course offerings and streamlined degrees to make the choices more simplified for students. Thank you to our faculty and curriculum committee for their leadership on that. We've added career counseling, so we're clarifying the path for students. The next thing we're doing is making ways for students to enter the path. We're gonna do that tomorrow with our Coyote kickoff and orientation. We do it with the meta major events, Senior Day, when we invite all the Tahoe Basin seniors to this campus. We now have guided pathway leads to help students enter the path and understand what their meta major and what that discipline and what the careers are that are associated with it. Well, once we get them on the door, we can't let them fail, right? They have a right to succeed. We want to help them stay on the path. We provide wraparound support services, scholarship, because we know resources often lead to academic success, embedded tutoring, housing, all the things to make sure our students can stay on the path. And then finally, we ensure learning and intentional outcomes. We've been providing multiple trips to four-year colleges. This is a trip to CSU Sacramento, Stingers up. So I want to give that a little love. But getting students out there, showing them what's next. We now have a transfer course created by Tracy Thomas to help students understand university transfer. Again, demystifying higher education for students. We've established these 5 meta major areas. This work was done years ago, right? You've seen this with participation from our faculty and other leadership. I know there was a little bit of a question last year, like, should we call it something different? I could tell you in late spring and early June, we did an analysis and assessment of all the Northern California colleges, and what we found is the most common term used is meta majors. But talking to leaders at all those campuses, whether they called it meta majors or areas of resource or learning communities, they all said, we can't assume that students are going to enter and understand what that means, right? We need to educate them. We need to explain our ways. We need to do it in simplified terms, right? So these meta majors tell you a little bit about the type of job you eventually want to get. It's a degree, but it's really leading to a job. So I want to give a shout out for each of our meta majors. We have business, hospitality, and leadership, culinary, doing some great work there. Health and public safety, there's our EMT program. Society, culture, and education, there's some faculty engaging with students. What about science, technology, environment? The physics class on a Foundation Student Success Fund and grant field trip. I mean, physics, hot air balloon on Lake Tahoe, what could be better, right? I mean, make the learning real, right? Make it relevant. Our art, languages, and humanities meta major. Man, I want to give a shout out. All the meta majors did some sort of meta major event last year, but I want to give a shout out to art, languages, and humanities because they did something really unique. They brought in this artist, Omeka, which is like kind of an artist group, a consortium, if you will, and they did poetry, dance, music, 2D art, really all the elements that make up this meta major. They created this beautiful piece that is now on display just this week in the Commons. Again, this is Coyote country. All that to say, it's about being student ready, right? It's no longer are students ready for colleges. It's our job to be ready for them, to meet them where they are at. Okay, moving on. So as I thought about Coyote country, I said, well, let's take a look back at the past year, because there's a lot of things that we do as a campus community year in and year out that are demonstrative of what Coyote country means. So let's take a look. So the year started off with a Coyote kickoff. We were getting our students on the path. This was almost exactly a year ago. Our faculty were in full force representing their meta major. And what I always see is the magic happens when faculty members share their passion and excitement about their field of study, right? That's when the magic happens for students. And somebody's like, wait, I want to work in the STEM fields, right? No, I'm interested in world languages. So faculty, keep sharing your passions. Another thing that we do at LTCC, it's hard work, but we do subscribe to the old adage of work hard, play hard. We definitely have fun. So this was last Halloween. We went full Barbie. And I will say, we do work hard. This is a tough job. I'll speak for myself. It's a tough job. I often wonder if I'm Knuff, and I try and bring that energy. But we have fun here, right? It doesn't mean we don't have to do good work, but it should be playful. It should be enjoyable. So just for those of you that are getting ready, this October 1974, it's our 50th anniversary, so you need to get your groovy outfits ready, because we're going to party like it's 1974 here in Coyote country. One thing that I love about Coyote country is we bring a lot of different cultural perspectives and events. This is Dia de los Muertos. These are our community comes together with their ofrendas, and it's a great way to honor culture and our ancestors. This is one of my favorite personal traditions and very special tradition here at LTCC. You can't think about fall without thinking about our soccer programs, right? Welcome to Coyote Country. It's on the soccer pitch. And these student athletes, right? We have an amazing group of student athletes, and I'm gonna talk about the student side later, but I'll talk about the athletic side now. They did something for the first time ever last year, Golden Valley Conference. Both men's and women's teams were champions. So this photo really sums up Coyote Country. We have this pitch, there's a sunset happening, beautiful, beautiful trees. Anyone remember this day? It was November 3rd against Feather River College. They are our long-term nemesis or rivals, and we won 1-0 to win the Golden Valley Championship. Look at the joy, right? Look at the joy. So let's hear it for our soccer team. So, you know, soccer is always in the spotlight, but they're gonna have to share the stage because last year we launched cross country and long distance track. And I wanna give a shout out to these athletes. I've affectionately referred to them as trailblazers. They're literally going first. They're figuring out how do we have a running program when it snows here so many months a year. I'm excited to welcome our new athletic director and our new cross country coach. Exciting things ahead. So Coyote Country, we come together to celebrate. This was November 8th. Who was here? A lot of us were probably here, right? Remember there's that first snow the night before. It was kind of like a cold dusting. And we got to open the front doors that had been closed for years, right? They'd been closed for COVID and then construction. And alas, we came together to celebrate. So speaking of another opening, this is January 2nd at 1:02 p.m. It's pretty specific. I took this picture. We finally opened our new student services space. And it was open to the public, and this space is about being student ready. We're no longer trying to send students all over campus. Oh, go here. They come to us, and we provide the supports that we need. We make a warm handoff to other support staff, and it was only fitting Danny Macedonis was there. He served the first student coming in. Very, very fitting. All right, March 5th, 2024. Roberta, you were there 50 years before, right? There was a big election or something. 50-year anniversary from the day that LTCC was voted into existence. We came together in the Student Center. We were joined by past presidents and board members, current and past faculty and staff, students and alum, and there was just so much joy and pride in this college in Coyote Country. Coyote Country is definitely made up of our Fire Academy. It's one of our flagship programs. This is class 18. You'll notice a couple snowflakes. We actually did a compressed program this year. This is the first program that's completed by the end of March. The reason for that, you could guess, it allows them to be employed and meet the region's needs before fire season. So no longer the end of June, end of March now, so they could get there and help support all of us in our region. Yeah, let's hear it for the Fire Academy. Last spring break came around. We were finally able to open the science wing after so much construction. We got our biology lab open. We were finally able to connect the hallway from technology to the rest of the campus, right? It kind of been on an island there. A lot of great work was done to make this project happen. I want to give a special thank you to everyone who worked on it, but specifically Rusty, Darcy, Marilyn Sanchez on the ladder. Special ladder brand there. We had our honor roll ceremony, so these kind of went away during COVID, but we came back together. And what I love, look at this photo. Look at all these students. Look how proud they are. Look at their parents, family, friends, faculty and staff supporting them. This is part of Coyote Country, how we come out for each other and support our students. Speaking of supporting our students, what about these athletes? We had these student athletes, right? And now I'll emphasize student athletes. So we had 17 student athletes last year transfer on or complete. They all went transfer on to four-year schools. So they all were placed. 14 of them are playing at those four-year schools as it is right now. So we're definitely doing our job ensuring their success as student athletes. So with that, I want to take a minute to spotlight one of our student athletes, Roberto Cacaci. Let's hear his story.
I'm Roberto Cacaci. I've been studying at TCC for 2 years now. I'm majoring in business administration. First of all, I'm grateful to everyone because I perceived the help that I needed, especially the first year in which I wasn't that comfortable with the language and everything. So I remember a professor that really tried to bear with me and I perfectly understood the situation. And at the same time, the staff, as I said, it looks like in this school, the priority is the well-being of the student, and I can really perceive that. I gotta say that for sure helped a lot the guidance that I received from everyone, starting from the coach, from our great international advisor, Marta Sternal, and overall the staff are very focused on help the students, and I would say this is a good environment to thrive. I just want to say thank you to my family for allowing me to start this amazing journey at LTCC. I really enjoyed these 2 years, and I also have to say thank you to the beautiful people that work here, faculty, staff. You really support me throughout the whole process, and I couldn't be more proud of that. Any advice for President DeFranco? Bring more Italian to LTCC.
Hey! Paisan! So Roberto is now attending William Patterson University of New Jersey. They did their media day photos the other day, and he sent me one. This was it. So there's so many great things in that video. One thing that I love is he talks about the faculty member that was working with him when he first came to our country and was struggling with his English. So that's how we are student ready. That's how we support our students. Another milestone last year, we celebrated the 30-year anniversary of our Child Development Center. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later, but definitely our CDC supporting our student parents and the kids of our employees is a big part of what makes Coyote Country work here. Gift of Literacy. Anyone been to Gift of Literacy before? It is an amazing event. It was our 7th annual Gift of Literacy. I want to thank you to the many partners, especially the lead partners, LTUSD and Lake Tahoe Education Foundation. The partnership illustrates Coyote Country because it's unique to LTCC and the California Community College system. We're the only ones that are doing this. And what is it that we're doing? We're partnering with LTUSD and these other partners to ensure every first grader gets to get their very own new hardbound book. Here we have some folks showing off their books. We have a couple of Coyote pups here, Nora and Gabby. You may recognize them from around campus. Pretty excited about those books. So another special moment in our last year. Another milestone, again, the year was just packed when we started doing this. I couldn't believe it. Another milestone is we had the topping off ceremony for student housing. So we brought in our key partners. They were able to sign the beans. So many people made this possible. Team Tahoe, we have partners here from TRPA, the city, the legislator, of course LTCC, our builders at Creekside, our architects, made this possible to keep this project moving on time. We put in the final beam, you'll see this here, at the end of last May, which tells me that we are on track to be able to welcome students to their new home here on the LTCC campus next summer. So very exciting time. We'll talk more about housing, but this was definitely a milestone in our past year. Another one of my favorite events, if you've been to this, is a very touching event every year. It's the Unity and Achievement Ceremony, also known as the Stole Ceremony, where the students get their graduation stole. We were able to celebrate their successes and get them ready for graduation. So, you know, it's not all fun. Sometimes it's a little sad or bittersweet, as in this case, when we said goodbye to Danny Macelonis after 35 years of service, plus his time as a student and his time as student trustee. I mean, he is synonymous with LTCC. We didn't actually say goodbye, we said see you around. Typically, Danny's sitting right here, so it's kind of weird for me to not have him in the audience. But he's in the Philippines, he's watching the live stream, so Danny, we see you. Let's give him a little love. But to be fair, Danny is just one example of the dedication we have here at Coyote Country. These 4 retirees represent more than 100 years of service to our campus. Pretty amazing. Part of Coyote Country is people who spend their entire career here supporting our community and supporting our students. Another part of Coyote Country, and I think our foundation and our generous donors for this, is that we step up when it comes to scholarships. We give out as much money as sometimes campuses that are 2-3 times our size. Let's look at our progress. Last year we gave out $309,000. That's 3 times as much as where we were 8 years ago. Yeah, you can clap for that. Equally as exciting to me, the number of students, almost double, 165 students whose lives will be forever changed by your generosity. Thank you to our donors. All right, we're getting close to graduation here. We have our Rising Scholars Program. This is for our justice-involved students, kind of an early graduate event, pre-graduation. Came to celebrate them. A beautiful, I mean, if that photo doesn't say Coyote Country, I don't know what does. Another really exciting time in our year. We'll hear more about them later. All right, I want to transition to graduation because you can't talk about the past year without talking about graduation. Who was there? Who was out at the commencement ceremony? So if you were there, you know there's something in the air, right? It was a magical evening, and I want to share a quick video with you to kind of bring you back for those that were there, and for those who missed it, I want to show this video with you, and maybe you'll be so compelled to show up next year. Let's take a look.
To my friends and fellow students, I congratulate you all for making it to this day.
You all represent what makes California beautiful.
It's our largest group of walking students. It's our most diverse class ever. You represent the best of LTCC and who we aspire to grow into over the next 50 years.
And you are writing LTCC's history as you are writing your own.
So as you commence, please embody all of the qualities of the Coyote. Be smart, be flexible. Know that you can do a lot alone, but you can do a lot more with your pack.
This community, your community, believes in you. And I and my fellow trustees look forward to seeing you cross this stage just a few minutes and to step into a new beginning.
The fact is, our community, our state, our nation, and most certainly our planet need each and every one of you more than ever.
I confer upon each of you the degree with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
Now, without further ado, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, graduates of 2024, please move your tassels from the right side to the left.
To LTCC graduates, your future is bright. Congratulations to the class of 2024. You did it. All right. What about that class? This is a great ceremony. There was not an open seat in the house, right? We were packed. We had more students walk across that stage than ever before. It was our largest graduating class ever. We came together for this drone selfie, or we called it the Drelfie, and see if you could find yourself in there. But I want to tell you a little bit more about class of 2024 because they represent who we are here in Coyote Country. So we had 329 graduates, 271 degrees were awarded, and 184 certificates. Those are all-time numbers. Nearly 3/4 of this class is low income. More than a third of them are first generation, meaning they're the first in their family to go to college. That's why we need to be student ready for them. Let's look at some numbers. 81 members of that graduating class are former dual enrollment. That means that 25% of this year's graduates started with LTCC as a dual enrollment student. Talk about a pathway that's working. 40 of them were rising scholars, right? Life-changing opportunities for the students. 33 student parents, that's why we're committed to serving our student parents. 17 athletes, 9 international students, you met one of them earlier today, and 9 veterans. It was truly a very unique class. I'll dig in a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit about some demographics. So we'll talk about age here first. So typically, everyone assumes that, people talk to me, assumes that we have a bunch of 20-year-olds that go to school and graduate here. Actually, more than 100 students in the graduating class were over the age of 30, and even 2 were under the age of 18. So we serve a very diverse bunch on the age side, but let's look at race and ethnicity, and this is very interesting. This is our most diverse graduating class in our history, right? So we need to evolve with our campus as our students evolve. Latinx, this is why our Hispanic serving institution, 40% of our graduates are Latinx. That means that they're graduating at higher rates than many of their peers. Very proud of our work that we're doing as a Hispanic serving institution. So that was graduation. After graduation, I know some of you go off into the sunset, or as we refer to it, summer break. A lot of us stuck around for this annual city's 4th of July parade. It was an honor that LTCC was the featured agency. I got to be a parade marshal along with Dr. James Duke, our first president, Roberta Mason, our founder, a woman who needs no introduction. We had two of our longtime employees leading the way. The library was well represented. Kimber, nice job here. The Coyote was out, staff were out, and just celebrating. And this experience definitely left an impression on me. We had hundreds of flags to give out. People were so proud to grab the flags, and it just reminded me about our role in this community and our role to bring people together. And so during this parade, a couple different things happened. On one hand, people were cheering like, I love LTCC. I went there. I'm on my, hey, Roberta. Like, just their connections to us were deep, but also their pride in Lake Tahoe, their pride in their country, right? People are waving their flags. Locals and visitors alike were coming together to support Tahoe. Going down the parade route, I just remember looking at the side and thinking, like, what a diverse community we have. There's so many people here that both live here and visiting here, but they all are feeling this experience, this unifying experience. So it just reminded me, we have a beautiful yet often imperfect nation. We have a beautiful and yet often imperfect community. But we need to be that unifying force. That's our role as Lake Tahoe Community College. Speaking of that, our role is also to encourage participation and cultivate civic engagement. So at the bottom line, foster engaged citizens. And I know, especially during an election year, things could get really divisive. And our role is actually to be the unifier, to bring folks together. We host candidate forums. We lead register to vote campaigns. We're part of this all-in democracy challenge nationwide. We got the bronze in the 2020 election. We got the silver in the 2022 election. What are we going for in 2024? We're going for gold. All right. So speaking of going for gold, who else binge watched the Olympics? Right? How can you not? If it was up to me, I would do nothing else but watch the Olympics for 16 straight days. I need to plan my calendar better in 2028. I'm already looking ahead. I put a note on my calendar. So one thing that left a mark with me was Olympics was ray gun, right? Ray gun? Any fans? So it got me thinking, I'm like, well, maybe I could be Olympian. Well, spoiler alert, I can't. But that didn't stop me from trying. I spent a couple weekends in the dance studio working on a routine. And I didn't realize there's actually a security camera in there in the corner, and it caught some footage. Let's go ahead and take a peek of my ode to Coyote Country. Oh, wow, that took a lot of coaxing. Needless to say, I won't be winning any gold medals for breakdancing, but we will be winning a gold ribbon for voter registration. All right, speaking of gold, what about this year's Taste of Gold raid? It's $142,000 for students, our biggest years yet. Thank you to all our sponsors, donors, everyone that supports this event. Moving on, middle of August, we come together annually for a team building day. It's an opportunity for us to try and build a more cohesive team. We did a true colors training, right? What are your colors? What is your personality type? How do you work with other members of the campus community, including how do you work with the oranges like me or the golds, so on and so forth. So this is a big part of Coyote Country. Like, we really focus on team building. Here's a little joy and camaraderie from the enrollment services team, right? Look at the smiles on their face. We have these kayaks that we use for our classes and our Connect program. We actually get our employees out on them, right? Lake Tahoe Community College. And what about this nonsense? Right? we had a lot of fun together. This showed up on a LinkedIn job posting the other day. I'm like, you got to take that down. We can't, that's too much for that's not LinkedIn material, but apparently it's good enough for the state of the college. Fierce competition, but really just camaraderie, right? So it's about bringing us together. It is our stated goal to be the best employer in the Tahoe Basin. So I'll tell you what that means for me. It's a place where passion and purpose align with your work. It's a place where you have community. It's a place where your compensation is competitive. It's a family-friendly work environment where there's work-life balance. That is what we're striving for, and it's also a place where you have fun. So that's who we're trying to be. But hey, what a year, 23, 24, right? So last year I talked to you about the LTCC way. This year we decided to have a little fun with some of our LTCC ways. So let's look at some of the fun reasons we all like to work at LTCC.
I was greeted on my first day with a high five. Of course I work at LTCC.
I wear my gear every Friday. I even keep extras in the office. Of course I work at LTCC.
I wear shorts and flip-flops every day. Of course I work at LTCC.
I see a bear on campus at least once a week. Of course I work at LTCC.
We're going to yoga class. Of course we work at LTCC.
I walk the Greenway Trail Bridge every day. Of course I work at LTCC.
I pet Yogi every day. Of course I work at LTCC.
We go to events for the food. All the students, of course we work at LTCC.
I work with my bestie. Of course we work at LTCC.
Somos una institución sirviendo hispanos.
Of course we work at LTCC.
A lot of great reasons to work at LTCC, a lot of reasons to be proud to be a Coyote. If you haven't done this yet, it's an activity outside of the theater. Encourage you to share your reasons that you're proud to be a Coyote. So I'm giving you a little bit of a homework. I'm proud to be a Coyote because, I'm proud to be a Coyote because. Again, hopefully what you saw with this as you look back at that year in review is we are a little college doing big things. And with that, we need to kind of keep up with all the changes around us. And something that is certainly on my mind is the impact of technology. So there's so many positive impacts. I know this slide's a little intense, I know. There's so many positive aspects of technology, but we're also dealing with AI in the classroom or hiring processes. We're dealing with bots and fraudulent students, cybersecurity concerns, deep fakes. So we need to make sure that we keep up with this. So I'll give you for example. We had this candidate that was very excited to work at company name. We're seeing a lot of AI in our hiring processes. The power of AI is amazing. The stuff they're doing with deep fakes these days, I cannot even believe. You go into ChatGPT and you say, show me President Jeff DeFranco in Coyote country, and you get this. I mean, look at the locks on that guy. So, all right, we're gonna keep moving. Next slide. It did. All right. Well, that's funny because there you go. It's back. All right. So, but no, seriously, I do want to make a little bit of a pitch for the technology department here. So we're unveiling multi-factor authentication. I know that's a lot of work. I know change is hard. And I know when you see Josh come around, you hear this guy. Yeah, if you could enable MFA, that'd be great. But seriously, I need all of you to be MFA Jedis. Like, we need to do this, right? We need to protect ourselves. We need to get on top of this because the concerns are real. I mean, this is very concerning me. The AI is imperfect, right? You can see, but. All right, let's go ahead and ride along to the next slide. All right, I want to talk about a book. This is a book that I've read a couple times over my life. It's been influential to me. I worked for a mentor of mine, Dr. Nancy Golden, and she always said leaders are readers, and I really embraced that. And so each year, I try and bring some ideas from stuff that I'm reading into our conversation. And good to great is a perfect metaphor to LTCC because we are a really good college, and I believe we're on the precipice of being a great college. Like we are well on our way. We just have to keep moving in this direction, keep stacking up all the small things. So I want to introduce a new concept. In the past, I've introduced some concepts. What are some concepts that we talked about before as a campus? Somebody go ahead and yell one out.
Thanks for the feedback.
Thanks for the feedback. Start with why. What's another one?
Ladder of inference.
Ladder of inference. What else? Pivot. Any other ones? Disrupt or be disrupted, right? So these hopefully become part of our vernacular. So I want to introduce a new one. It's called the Flywheel effect. And I'll read this quote. I'm going to add a little bit to it. In building a great company or social sector enterprise or community college, there is no single defining action, no grand program, no one killer innovation, no solitary lucky break, no miracle moment, or as you often hear me say, no silver bullet. Rather, the process resembles relentlessly pushing a giant flywheel, heavy, turn upon turn, until we actually get the momentum. And that's what we've been doing. The things that are making a difference on our campus, that's not one thing, it's all the work. All the work coming together to get momentum. So let's actually hear from the author, and he's going to give us another overview of the flywheel effect.
Remember we wrote in Good to Great that big things happen by pushing on a giant heavy flywheel. You start pushing in an intelligent and consistent direction. And after a lot of work, you get one giant, slow, creaky turn. But you don't stop. You keep pushing and you eventually get 2 turns and 4 and 16 and 32 and 64 and 100 and 1,000 and pushing, cumulative, consistent momentum. And at one point it's 100,000 and 1,000,000 turns in that flywheel. Big things happen because you do a bunch of little things supremely well that compound over time.
Big things happen because you do a bunch of little things supremely well that compound over time. And so I know I've talked to a lot of the staff about this. Our next job isn't coming up with a new grand innovation or another way to grow. We have the right flywheels moving. Some have a lot of momentum. Others, like housing and food service, we're still making that first push. We just got to keep the focus and push on these things. We have some good momentum, and we are well on our way to becoming a great college. All right, I want to look at some of the data. This is from somebody in this group likes data. This is from our Vision for Success. This is part of a statewide initiative. When you came in, you should have received one of these progress updates. Hopefully you did. If you didn't get one, please get one on the way out. I will share with you all this data is included right on the inside cover. It's that important. So you can revisit then. You're welcome to try and follow along now. I know it's a little hard with the light. But I'm going to hit some high points from it. So our first goal is about associate degrees, right? So what could be more important than getting students associate's degrees? Look at our progress, right? 72% up over our baseline year, number of graduates, number of degrees. We're making good work there. But everyone has a part to play. I know often we have students that say, hey, I'm transferring on. I'm not going to get my degree. I'm not going to walk. I want to encourage all of us to reach out to these students. I want to share one example of this is Lex Craven, and many of you know Lex. She was a cross-country runner for us. I ran into her the last week of finals week last year, and I knew she was transferring to Humboldt State. I knew she was going to run cross-country there. I said, hey, are you walking? She said, well, I haven't graduated. I was like, what do you mean you haven't graduated? We got her with an amazing counselor, Sarah Williams, got her degree, got her signed up for commencement, and she had so much pride in that degree. And so it's up to us, right? Student Ready College. We need to reach out to students, make sure they're on their way, and support them in any way we can. Our next goal is about certificates. Here's a little historical, right? We've kind of been up, down, and all around. Let's see what the 23-24 data has to say. But first, I want to go back to the tape. What did I say about certificates on this stage in 2021? Let's take a look. This goal is like a thorn in my side. It's increasing our number of certificates, and we're just not making it. But we know students are earning these certificates, but they're just not getting them allotted to them. So we are going to take this goal on, and I'm promising you that next year I'm going to have better news to share. All right, promising better news to share. So fast forward to 2023, what was said here? Certificates, we've kind of steadied out around 50 of those annually. We expect more of those. We're doing auto awarding now where students automatically get credit for the certificates that they earn. We expect to see more certificates in forestry and fire in the years ahead, so that number will continue to grow. So let's see what the data says. Let's roll the data. It is literally off the charts. Literally off the charts. So a big part of this is our work in our career technical education fields, more students in our forestry and fire programs getting certificates. Another part of it is our auto awarding effort. Shout out to Steve Barry and Drew Cunningham. Last year, of the 184 certificates, 67 of them were auto awarded. It Didn't mean the student didn't do any less. They did all the courses, but they didn't know to apply for it. So we automatically awarded them and provided them with the certificate. So thank you to Drew, Steve, and the entire team that's working on this. Your progress is showing. All right, associate degrees for transfers. We now offer 16 associate degrees for transfers at LTCC. I previously described this as the golden ticket, right, for transfer to California higher education four-year universities. Again, pushing the flywheel. It took a while to get going, but now this is rolling. It's easy when you look at the data just to see numbers, but what I want you to do is see and imagine a student behind every number, right? And in this case, I'm going to talk about a student that represents one of those 114 graduates and represents 3 of those associate for transfer degrees, so they're an overachiever. That student is Daniella Valdivia-Guzman. Let's hear Daniella's story.
So my name is Daniella Valdivia-Guzman. I have been attending LTCC for 4 years. I have 3 majors, so it's sociology, psychology, and Spanish. But I do plan to get my major in sociology and my minor in Spanish. I work for financial aid, I worked for Trio ETS, I work for the basic needs department with Lara Salinas, and then I've also been the Coyote mascot. So, surprise! Oh, I'm part of the Student Senate. I served as this year's student trustee, and I do a little bit of everything on campus. I think what really helped me and what we should continue to do in the future is continue to support students with our student services such as equity, EOPS, and Promise. I feel that was a huge part of my success as a student here, and I feel that we should definitely continue to get funding for that and make sure that our students are being well supported, not just inside of school, but outside of school too. That's one of the things that helped me be the person that I am today and succeed in my education. Just because you think you're not college material doesn't mean you aren't. Please continue forward and make sure that you keep your head held high and do not be afraid to talk to staff members or your teachers. They are your #1 supporters and they want the best for you. My advice to President DeFranco is keep being who you are, keep supporting students in everything that you are, and keep being their #1 ally through it all.
Nice job, Daniella. All right, moving on. We have another goal here. This is our goal for transfer to four-year universities. This is the only goal that we haven't fully cracked the code on, and I want to put it out to you that this is all of our roles. I think it's easy to think that conversations about transfer only happen in the transfer center, or they only happen during a counseling appointment, but it's all of our jobs. So when you meet a student, ask them, what are you studying? What's your meta major? When do you plan to graduate, and where are you transferring? And if they don't have a plan for transfer, talk to them about that. Talk to them about where you went to school, right? So can we all commit to being part of this transfer culture here at LTCC? Can we support that? Can that be everyone's job? 2 more goals to share. This one was about decreasing units. It's 90 units to an associate's degree at a quarter school. We had many students taking way too many. I think we pretty much optimized, 95, 96 units on average for our students. We're in a pretty good place. Our final goal is about labor market value, right? Our students getting a living wage after they come here. This is the same data as last year. We're waiting for some new data that we'll get this October. The trend is on the rise. We'll share more when we know more. Finally, I want to share some student demographic data. I talked a little bit about the class of 2024, but I want to talk about our 10,000 students as a whole. They represent about a third first generation. Almost 2/3 of them have been awarded financial aid or scholarships. A third of them are low income. 60% are students of color, diverse backgrounds, and a quarter of them are transfer focused, and they need to hear from you on where do you plan to transfer. So that is who our student body is. As you can see, we're making great progress. The data shows it, right? The data for our data fans. All right, back to the progress update. I think I got another one of those up here somewhere. Again, I encourage you to give this a deep read. If I covered every accomplishment in here, we'd literally be here all day, and even I don't want that. So I'm going to hit a couple high points, but I encourage you to give it a look and see everything that LTCC has accomplished. So we'll go goal by goal through our 6 goals. Goal 1 is about our commitment to becoming an anti-racist and multicultural institution. I already talked about our Hispanic serving institution efforts. I want to talk about some other efforts that are taking place. Specifically, our Cultural Fluency Teaching Academy. This is part of, it was funded through a 2-year, $300,000 grant. We now have a year-long academy for faculty to learn best practices in culturally responsive teaching. These are the faculty members, or representative of the 14 faculty members that were in the first cohort. Thank you for going first. Kudos to you. Their cohort will be completing this December, and they will be providing innovations that they plan to implement in their classroom to ensure that all students can succeed. We already have 15 faculty signed up for cohort 2. It starts at the end of this month. If you're interested, scan the QR code, talk to Dr. Sarah Peirce, talk to Laura Mattoon. It's their second and final year of this grant. We want to make this available to all our faculty, so please consider joining. Additionally, we had received a $200,000 State Chancellor's Office grant to improve our onboarding and mentorship program. We've made some good progress on that. The why of this is making sure when new employees come in that they understand our culture and values, they understand our commitment to anti-racism and equity, and that, that LTCC is a welcoming place for all our students, and it's to inform and educate them. We are making progress, and there's more progress to be done, crystal clear. But the thing that I'm reminded of is we're often, even though we think we have a lot more to do, we're often leading the way. And so this past year, we submitted our 1-year report to the Chancellor's Office, and they reached out to us. And they invited us and one other college statewide to present to all the other grant recipients about the things that we were doing because they thought we were the model. So there we have, there's a panel of us. We have Laura Salinas sharing some great information. I also want to thank Laura Mattoon and Jennifer McGrew for their work moving this grant forward. Once again, we are a little college doing big things. This is a photo from either last April or last June. When we were, raised the pride flag here on this campus along with our state of California flag and of course our US flag, because we want to signal to our students that are members of the LGBTQI+ community that they are welcome here, that this is a safe space. Again, LTCC's role is to be a welcoming and unifying beacon in our community, and we are dedicated to serving all our students. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about this, and it's under Goal 1. It's our partnership that we've been building with the Washoe tribe that's been made possible by the work of many of you and also the support of our foundation. This was a fire chainsaw course that we offered for 17 Washoe tribal members. Thank you to Dr. Scott Valentine for helping get this off the ground. Here they are taking down some conifers that don't belong in that meadow. They cleared this trail, so not only was there good education happening, great community service was happening to our local natural environment. Additionally, I announced last year that through the generous funding of our foundation, we were able to provide access to Washoe tribal members to our Promise program. And starting this fall, we have a half dozen students that are Washoe tribal members that will be joining our Promise program. So it's working. Again, a lot more to share, but I'm gonna keep us moving. So Goal 2, right, it's about financial aid, housing, basic needs. What have we accomplished? And it's about getting student access, right? So we set some goals for enrollment increases last year. We literally hit those goals out of the park, right? Our face-to-face enrollment was up 32% year over year. Let that sink in. Students are literally banging down the door for face-to-face classes. When you think about the flywheel, it's not any one thing, right? All these different efforts we're pushing on, they're all growing. Our face-to-face full-time equivalent students are up. Our online full-time equivalent students are up. Our dual enrollment students are up. Concurrent enrollment, which are high school students taking college courses, is up. It's all happening. And what is the end result? Well, we're turning 50 and we're at all-time highs in terms of the number of students served, right? You want to be on the rise when you turn 50, right? We reached our highest FTS level ever at 2,191. I could tell you when I arrived on this campus in 12-13, our number was 1,463 or 64, and 2,000 seemed like an insurmountable, like we would never get over 2,000 students. Our community wasn't big enough, we couldn't do it, but once again, we're now a little less small college, still doing big things. One of those big things is our partnership with Mount Tlac High School. Special thanks to Adam Einen of LTCC and Amy Jackson from LTUSD for championing this partnership. This is bringing our TLAC students to our campus every Friday so they could feel like LTCC is a place where they belong. And that culminated with them hosting their Mount TLAC High School hosting their graduation ceremony here on our campus. And so what are the results of it? I know it feels good, but what are the results? Well, in fall 2023, 23% of their graduation class was coming to LTCC. This fall, 54% of their graduation class is coming to LTCC. We are helping them find their place in higher education, and we're going to continue to support them until they succeed at LTCC. Another thing that we do is our annual senior day, right? Helping students get on the path. We invite seniors from all over the Tahoe Basin. Last year, 89 seniors attended, and 65 of them across multiple high schools were enrolled at LTCC before week's end, right? So it is working. To give you a sense, I talked about Mount TLAC. Let's talk about South Tahoe High School. Back in 2021, 30% of that graduating class came to LTCC. Last year, 44% of that graduating class came to LTC. So we are serving our community. Another thing that we've talked a lot about over the years is credit for prior learning. If you're new to credit for prior learning, it's about providing students an opportunity to demonstrate their skills and receive college credit in a particular field. It honors the knowledge and skills that they receive through other trainings. Again, if you think about the Flywheel, it took a lot to get this moving. Just get our policy in place, create the CPL website, start discussing the partnerships, pushing. But I'm here to share with you, it is off and rolling. We gave out 631 credit for prior learning units last academic year, and this program is only expected to grow. I want to give one example that I'm very excited about, and this is through our partnership with the United States Marine Corps Mountain Warfare Training Center. This was a partnership that was started under the leadership and with the networks of Dr. Clinton Culp, who had previously served as a lead trainer at the Mountain Warfare Training Center. All of us, including the LTC individuals in this photo, were committed to seeing his vision through to fruition. So what is the result? Well, now individuals at the Mountain Warfare Training Center who complete their Mountain Leaders Summer and Winter Operations Training earn 18.5 units of CPL for things like our Wilderness Education course, our Mountain Weather course, our Navigation course. So they're getting the training there, but they're getting those transcriptable college credits. The end result, more than 300 units have been awarded through this partnership, and it represents the first of its kind in the country. Again, little college doing big things. We're joined here today by some of our partners from the Mountain Warfare Training Center. Can you stand up? Could we welcome you to the show? Again, these are all the different ways we use student-ready college. Not every college needs the same path and the same set of experiences to demonstrate and receive their degree and certificates. All right, goal 3. This is focused on really student success and completion, making sure that we're meeting the needs of our underserved student populations. I talked previously about our role as a Hispanic serving institution. A big part of that is our federal HSI STEM grant, right? So it's about getting Latinx and low-income students into the STEM fields. Let's see some of our early results. This is Latinx students enrolling in STEM programs. Look at the jump the last 2 years, right? We are on the rise, so more students are being able to see themselves in these STEM fields. These are highly needed fields. These are highly compensated fields. What about degrees? Same thing. Latinx students earning STEM degrees, also on the rise. This shows me that our efforts are working. There's still more to do, but let's hear it for the team that's been working on this, because you're making a difference. I want to talk a little bit more about our Rising Scholars program. You've heard about it in the past, but this year I want to focus on our expansion into the juvenile justice system. We served about 80 to 90 juvenile justice students per quarter. These 3 students represent some justice-involved youth that were here at LTCC last June getting their degree, talk about life-changing experiences for students. And you see these 3, I want to go to a more personal story as somebody that many of you know. Lina is an RSP grad, now an LTCC employee. Let's hear Lina's story.
My name is Lina, Caro, Flores. I have been at LTCC for 3 years, and I will be majoring in sociology and psychology. Being low income, I grew up in poverty. So growing up in high school, I kind of took my education for granted. I came in at zero. I could barely meet my basic needs, and I was struggling so much, just on every aspect, emotionally, physically, mentally, and having the support from all these programs helped me kind of gain my confidence again and my strength. It's honestly awesome. I'm so proud to be a Coyote and to have been able to have this opportunity. My advice for incoming students is don't be scared to ask for help and don't be scared of change. Don't give up on yourself and believe in yourself and believe that change is possible, because everything that I've obtained up to now, I feel like I owe a lot of it to Lake Tahoe Community College. I feel home again, which is something that for a long time I felt lost. I see myself being a social worker. Like I said, I love working with transitional age youth. I love being a mentor. I used to be part of the problem, so it feels really good to just be part of the solution now and making a difference. And I see myself continuing like that. After over a decade of not being in school, I see myself continuing my education all the way, and like I said, possibly getting my doctorate and making a difference. I plan to stay in my community and help the Latino community, help those that have been incarcerated, help those single parents. I just want to help, and that's a big part of my future that I know I will achieve.
Lina, thanks for sharing what Coyote Country means to you. And I know you say thank you, LTCC, but thank you to you for being part of Coyote Country. Moving on, I want to talk about Lake Tahoe Promise. This is a program that you know about, but again, it's a perfect example of the flywheel because we are really finally gaining momentum. Thank you to our 23-24 Promise team. Maybe you've been sitting here this whole time going, so what exactly is a flywheel? So I'm going to give you another look at it. So here's an old flywheel engine. And so I want you to think about this in terms of why is that? Why is it not rolling? Roll the tape. All right. So Promise, first by state in the country, right? All right, give it another pull. Let's get a first year experience class going. Let's get dedicated class counseling going. Let's get peer navigators going, right? It's a lot of work. Let's get bookstore credits going. Let's get additional foundation funding for more groups. Finally, we're off and rolling. We have momentum, right? And so this is the analogy. We don't need to add new programs. We don't need to add new innovations. We need to do the things well, build momentum, and sometimes we'll have to add more fuel and more resources to these flywheel engines, but they are happening. So what's the end result? Well, you already kind of saw it. Promise is on the rise. Promise enrollments, right? And this number is expected to grow as we get into fall quarter. So why does Promise matter? Well, we're seeing leading indicators. Promise students are completing transfer level English and math at higher levels than their counterparts. So maybe nearly a third of them are completing in year one. That shows that they're on their way to graduation. We also know our Promise program, which is open to all California students and also Nevada, Tahoe Basin residents. But we know that it is serving a group that is more diverse than their counterparts, typically has received more financial aid. So more traditionally underserved populations are able to benefit from Promise. And so what's the results, right? Promise is a program about student completion. We look at the 3-year graduation average. The national average is 35%. What are we seeing with Promise? We're almost at 50%. So this means the students started in fall 2021 and graduated between then and June 2024. Almost half the Promise students of that cohort made it. So it is really amazing. It is a leader in the nation. We should be proud of it. So again, you see numbers. I want to show you faces. This is Zamany Seguin. She is a Promise student. Let's hear Zamany's story. Help.
My name is Zamany. I've been here for 3 years now, and I am studying communications. I am a student ambassador, and I'm in all the programs at LTCC, EOPS, Promise, Equity. I'm also involved in a lot of clubs. My favorite thing about LTCC was really learning from teachers that are passionate about teaching. What helped me was definitely the equity program and the promise. All the grants basically helped me a lot financially, and like that is such a big burden for a lot of students, and all the grants really helped me focus just on my school and classes. The advice that I would have for incoming students would be to just enjoy being here, be a part of clubs, different classes that you wouldn't think of taking, take them, because you never know. For President DeFranco, don't stop wearing your dunks.
Zamany, that's good advice. One of the cowboy boots say is Caddy Country, but I'll wear the dunks next week. So the bottom line is we have more students graduating, a higher percentage of them are Promise Program students. Nearly a quarter of all our graduates are now through the Promise Program. This program is making a difference. On to our next goal. This is about modern and sustainable facilities and sustainability practices. What progress have we made? Well, alas, we have an equipment storage facility on this campus. I know maybe you don't get excited about a 10,000 square foot storage facility, but it's pretty awesome. And one reason why I'm excited about, look at this, this is a master plan from 1999, right? 1999, and what did it have on it? It had a storage facility. So it didn't end up there, it ended up more over here, but alas, 25 years later, we have this. Why does it matter? Well, look at all the stuff we have to serve students. Oh, come on, why are the videos? They're just... Check out all these boats and kayaks for our Connect program and wilderness education. We have our public safety equipment, our maintenance equipment. These buses are for transporting students to athletic events and to field trips. We have a lot of stuff to store, so this is actually a very exciting project for all of us. And oh, by the way, do you know how close we are to the lake? So anyways, excited about this project. Moving on, the other project that I'm excited, I could officially report that the remodel for efficiency is the last done. We are ready to open in fall 2024, including the chemistry lab, the final bit. A lot took place. I want to highlight some of the things that happened in the last year, and then also look at some of the changes. Let's take a peek. So the old Commons, remember that? Anyone remember that? The new Commons, new student services places. The old technology labs, the new technology labs. The old bio lab, the new bio lab. The old taxidermy kind of out in the hallway. The new taxidermy, let's build all the built-in shelving. The new science common area. This new chem lab, alas, is ready. The new technology space, you saw a little bit of this earlier. There's some old student services. A lot of cubicles in the back. Look at the new student services place, right? Truly amazing. Old student ambassador desk, it was kind of an afterthought. Now it's built in. So this project is done, and it has seriously transformed our campus. Oh, old front of campus, new front of campus, right? Heated sidewalks, new signs, a lot has happened. Another piece of that project is we added these gender-neutral restrooms, like multiple restrooms in a single space. And so we're excited about that. It's part of our inclusivity efforts. But I also want to share, like, hey, if you have a good idea, share it. And here's a for example. Drew Cunningham works in enrollment services. She said, Jeff, I keep pointing people around the corner and they're not finding the restrooms because they don't look like a traditional restroom. There's not traditional signage out there. Can we get some better signage up there? And the Bond team hopped right on it. And so those are the Drew Cunningham legacy restroom signs. So the final piece of this is we got rid of these temporary portable buildings that we've been holding on to for 30 years. Part of our deal with the state was they gave us $11 million of matching fund to retrofit our class, but they also said you got to get rid of 3 portable buildings. That's a deal I would take. It's a deal you would take, right? So excited. I know some folks are sad to see those go, but they were well past their lifespan. Excited to see them move on. So we got a lot of new facilities. How are we going to get around this campus? Well, the good news is we have a new interactive map. Special shout out to Emily Shaw on the live stream for leading this effort. Thank you to Austin Stevens for bringing the project forward. Thank you to Tom Lindley for your excellent project management skills. This would not have been possible without all three of you. Let's take a look. What can this do for us? So you're going to go to our website. Under About Us, you can also get this on a mobile device, maps and directions, interactive campus map. Right, so here's our campus. You could click on the different spaces. Let's go to PE. Shows you a picture of what it looks inside, some information about it. Maybe you need directions. You could put in your class number there, and it will provide, or your current location, it'll provide you directions from one space to another. This is a great place for new students to find their classes on their first day. You'll notice, right, we're at HSI. We have a Spanish version as well. We're committed to that. There's also all these hotspots. So think about an international student, an out-of-state student, somebody's parent. They could check out LTCC from afar and see what an amazing facility is. We're excited about this tool. I want to spend time to share it here today because I want you all to share it with your students and the community. Let them know this is happening and available. So what do you think of this tool? Pretty good, right? All right, so speaking of facilities, I want to talk about the public safety training complex. I said no more growth, but this is one thing we've been working on for a decade, and that flywheel, it's heavy. We've been slowly pushing it. We've been getting a little bit of momentum. But what it is now, and we've done some work this year to kind of finalize the location. Here's the main campus. We'll take a little flyover. There's the U.S. Forest Service building that's on our campus. It would be a large training tarmac. First and foremost, it's a training tarmac, water retention systems, some more storage facilities for all the public safety storage, and a couple other things where our fire academies and local fire agencies and other public safety programs can train. We are making progress on this. Thank you to Senator Butler and Senator Padilla's offices. They put forward a $4.7 million earmark appropriation request on our behalf this year. We did not get all the way through the appropriations process, but it's okay. We're pushing the flywheel. We got some advocacy momentum. We're applying for this Jobs First State of California funding. I am convinced we will get those matching funds to bring this very important project to our community to support our public safety efforts. So that is moving forward and still yet to come. Yeah, there's Van. All right, what about electrical vehicle charging stations? We've been talking about this for a while. We're getting close with Liberty Utilities. Those are on track to be on our campus by spring 2025, or I mean summer, really, right? Because, we say spring and it ends up being summer. Okay, that joke didn't land. It's all about spacing, right? You need to pause. But this is what they're going to look like. And so this could be you. This could be you charging your electric vehicle. Part of this goal is also our commitment to sustainability. I want to give some kudos and thanks to Dean Brad Deeds as part of his professional development lead project. He worked on some research, and he is going to be bringing forward some proposed board policies, administrative procedures to our governance process. I hope the campus will look at them carefully and provide suggestions. This is designed to ensure that all our departments, all our events, all our purchasing is in line with our goal to become a more sustainable practice. So more on that moving forward in the year ahead. It's good stuff, right? I'm also proud that we've invested in bike parking and bike trails. We are being an overall bike-friendly campus. Thank you to all our bike riders who are taking advantage of this. I want to just lay it down right now. Tahoe Bike Challenge, why are we always in third or fourth place? Who wants to win this thing this year? Who is it? Jeffy, we need you on our team. We need trustee Jeffy on our team. We want to make this happen. So a lot happening with facilities and sustainability. All right, goal 5. This is about transforming to a residential campus. This is a big deal, right? We are a little college doing big things. There aren't tons of residential community college campuses out there in the nation, so we are at the forefront. Recently, the Chancellor's Office put out a piece to showcase what's happening with community college housing, and LTCC was proud to be featured. Let's take a look.
Many of our students are housing insecure. It's not uncommon to talk to a student that has to change their housing 2, 3, maybe more times during an academic year. And so if we could remove one of those barriers to access with housing, we really believe that more students will be able to complete, and more importantly, complete successfully and in a timely fashion. We are currently in process of building 100-bed affordable student housing here on the Lake Tahoe Community College campus, because as a college and as a system, we've been waiting for affordable housing. We've done the planning, we've done the feasibility studies, we are ready to go, and investing in this program is not only serving our students, it's serving the state in our housing needs.
Right now, I live at home with my mom and my sisters. I definitely do want to move out and be independent, but looking at the housing situation currently within Tahoe, that doesn't seem like a possibility of happening. This money that I'm about to spend on myself could be used for gas, or wait, I need this money to pay for my food, or I need this money to help with this month's rent. I think the impact that we see with that is we sacrifice our studies instead of being a full-time student to balance out work so that I can pay for my housing.
We're the largest system of education, and we accept everyone. And so if we're able to not just offer them an education, but housing and additional resources, that's gonna support them in being successful, in being housed, in reaching their goals. And there are just so many different populations that we're able to serve and support that housing is gonna be a game changer.
This is going to be a great place for students to live. We're excited of our work at the forefront. Who's interested to see what it looks like inside housing these days? Anyone curious? So here you have, we'll take a little bit of a tour. There you go. Take a little bit of a tour. This is the front, right? It's really coming together. You can see where the rooms are, the student rooms. Let's walk in that front door. This is the lobby area. It's a lounge area for students to hang out. 2 stories of glass windows. Imagine watching a snowstorm come in from there. It's going to be very light and bright. Amazing spot for our students to be able to live. As you can see, a rendering of the lounge area there. Walking down the hallways, we'll look into some of the bedrooms. So this is our typical setup. It's a quad, right? 2 double occupancies, a quad of students, 4 students sharing 1 restroom. The windows, you can see all the framings going up, right? The rooms are coming together. Here's the upstairs. Look at these views of the meadow and Trout Creek. I mean, is this an amazing place to live or what? Here's our community kitchen, right, where students will be able to utilize. Again, you can see it's coming together. Housing is well on its way. Looking out to the student center, right, that's going to become a primary entrance into campus. You can see that construction. It is happening. So housing is on its way. I can't wait to show you the finished videos this time next year. All right, to help with this, we recently received a $200,000 partnership resource team grant. The big part of this is not only does it provide us some resource, but it's bringing a half dozen housing experts to campus in October and November to answer our questions and give us advice moving forward. We want to make sure that we put all the processes in place so we don't end up with this. Speaking of housing, I want to remind, I want to actually, we'll stop. So forgot what slide I was on. So I do want to talk about one element of housing. Typically at this address, sometimes I get to announce a big donation, sometimes I get to announce a big grant. This is a little bit smaller, but I still think it's very exciting. So when we built housing, you see the kind of this tan area here in the corner, here's housing. We built an area to be able to receive a piece of art, similar as we did for the 40th anniversary when we brought in this sending sculpture by the library. And this has been moving fast. And I'm thrilled to share that we are well on our way of bringing a new piece of art to the South Shore of Lake Tahoe. We have a lead donor that's taken us most of the way. I got a request out to a couple other donors. Some of them might be in the audience today, some might be on the live stream, to help push this over the top. But this new piece called Rushmore will be coming to our campus to support our housing. Right, so you see some of these animals. These are from a Northern California artist. They already have a piece in Tahoe City and Reno. Their work is really well known. But look at this guy right here. Does he look familiar? Right? This Coyote uses about 19,000 nickels, 5,000 dimes, and 8,000 pennies to make up. So it's actually very tactile, super interesting, all laid one at a time with tons of pages. This art was first displayed in our region at Burning Man. It's actually 7 feet tall and 16 feet long, 5,000 pounds. So it's pretty huge. But again, my commitment is anytime we bring in a big piece of infrastructure, new facility, let's bring some public art with it. Thank you to the donors that have already helped make this possible, and an early thanks in advance to some of the donors that are going to help push us over the top on this project. All right, off-campus student housing. This is a photo from 2019. I'd like to be that age again. So we have off-campus student housing. I'm here to share with you that we are doubling down on this. The board just approved an extension of the master lease for 2 more years. We are committing to keeping our off-campus housing because we're going to need it for our international students, our out-of-state students, other students that don't qualify for our on-campus housing. We're investing in improving the space. It's been 5 years, right? It's time for some new furniture and some new paint. I want our off-campus housing to reflect the quality of Coyote country. Also, one other small thing, we have some exciting things coming to campus. We have big food service work to do next year, but we have some exciting things coming to campus this fall, including a food truck that makes fresh donuts. Thanks for all the homers. Also, I want to give kudos to Aaron and Rusty and Marilyn and others that are working on. Starting next week, the marketplace will be offering more fresh foods, including sandwiches, salads, and other goodies. What about that? All right, on to our 6th and final goal. This is really about institutional reflection, honoring our past. Bingo! We got someone's guys bingo. So there is a Soca bingo game that was created a couple years ago. And I'm a fan because whatever it takes to get the faculty here, let's do it. Bingo! And friends, but I must have said an important room. Maybe, I'm not sure what I said. What was the word I said? Accreditation, okay, was on the bingo card. Yeah, that was an easy one. Congratulations, bingo winners. So we have our accreditation team visit happening October 1st. Please join me, be available that day. You already have a calendar invite. We want to invite our peers from ACC, JC, and show them what makes LTCC great. All right, a little bit, what did we do last year related to Goal 6? Well, we kicked off our 50th anniversary. It's not over yet, right? This was just the kickoff. It's an 18-month celebration, more to come. Part of that is honoring our 50 awesome alumni. You recognize any familiar faces up there, right? Awesome alumni are all around. Please take the time to nominate them. Do we have an LTCC alum in the house? Where are you at? All right, there's a lot of you. So what I want you to do is go home, mark your calendars, make a call, send a text to a fellow alumni or two, and let them know to save the date for next summer, Alumni Weekend. This will sync up with Taste of Gold. We'll have a lot of activities on campus. We want to welcome our Coyotes back and celebrate not only our 50 awesome alumni, but all the awesome alumni here at LTCC. Another piece of this is we're going to be recognizing 50 influential individuals, such as some of these old school LTCC leaders. The influential individuals will be selected based on having made a lasting impact at the institution, right? They will be picked across the generations. Again, we're accepting nominations on both of these as part of our 50 Faces campaign, 50 awesome alumni, 50 influential individuals. Please nominate someone. You know these people, you know the alumni, they're here, they're your neighbors, they're your friends. Please share their story. I talked about a big milestone last year, the 30th anniversary for the Child Development Center. One thing I was excited about is that we got together and raised money for Strider bikes. Thank you for your generosity. What was the end result? Look at this. The kids are off and cruising, right? They are off and cruising. So thank you. We are doing great things here for our community. Again, this Goal 6, it's about honoring that past, envisioning the future. Sometimes the past feeds the future. This goal is really where kokanese and coyotes come together for dinner. So, there we have it. There we have it. Pat, I'll get you that picture. Finally, I want to talk about the strategic goals for the next 2 years. Here's the thing, I'm not going to spend tons of time on these because they're going to be familiar. Because guess what? We're not charting a new course, right? We're going to continue down the direction. These are also in your progress update. Last page, encourage you to check these out. I'll speak to them briefly, but what you'll see is it's an extension of our work, right? Our first one, anti-racist, welcoming college community for our students and employees. Second one, cultivating a vibrant residential campus with housing and food service, right? Third, becoming a student-ready college, right? Student-ready college. This fourth one, resource development, not for new things, but for things we've already committed to, like the Tahoe Basin Public Safety Complex, or grants that need renewal so we could keep our programs going. And finally, honoring our past, celebrating alumni and other key figures, and coming together and looking at our future, a new mission vision, a new logo. Who is LTCC going to be for the next 50 years? So that's the goals. You'll hear more about that throughout the year at campus, but want to give you a quick peek ahead. All right, so one of the final pieces we do every year is honor our President's Service Award winners. This is always my favorite part. These students have brought pride to our institution. They're selected because they're involved in multiple aspects of campus. Sometimes they work on campus, sometimes they're a student athlete, sometimes they're a club leader, maybe in student senate. Oftentimes they are all of the above. These are really remarkable students. So you've heard about two of these students already. We have Roberto. Roberto is on the East Coast now at his four-year school, but Roberto was a student athlete. He was a president of the National Society of Leadership and Success. He was a very involved international student. He worked in the fiscal department, and it was my pleasure to be able to honor him. This was at the foundation scholarship banquet for his role as our President's Service Award winner. He might hear us on the live stream. Let's give him a round of applause. Next up, we have Daniella. Daniella is here with us today. All the way from CSU Monterey Bay. We have an otter, but always a coyote. Daniella was a student senator, involved with student senate. She was student trustee. She worked in pretty much every department in student services. She was a graduation speaker. She literally did all the things. So thrilled to honor her as a President's Service Award winner. Let's give her a round of applause. Go ahead and stay up. All right, so Daniella's going to stay up here. Well, we have other recipient here in the audience, and this person has not yet been recognized, so this will be their unveil. And if you heard about them previously, Zamany. Yes. Zamany, come on up. So Zamany has worked on multiple roles on campus. She's currently working in TRIO. She's been a student ambassador. She's been involved with clubs. And she's been very engaged in the campus community, and it is my honor to award you with the President's Service Award. Congratulations. All right, come over here. All right, last but certainly not least, it'll be no surprise that our last recipient is Lina Caro Flores. Lina. Lina is, she's an inspiration for all of us. She has worked in the RSP program. She has volunteered at TLAC and other places.
Also worked with CalWorks and EOPS.
CalWorks and EOPS, there you go. She has shared her journey very openly so she could be an inspiration for other students. She has sung the national anthem at graduation. She has literally done it all. Congratulations to Lina. So, the good news, Daniella knows this. I don't know if Lina and Zamany know this, but it comes with a $2,500 check to help you with your four-year degree. So, we're going to see that all, here, go ahead, come on over. We're going to see that all these students get transferred, get to four-year schools, are successful, maybe even work on their doctorates. We're helping them find the way. Congratulations. All right, thank you. Go ahead and have a seat. Thanks for coming up to the stage. All right, in closing. So, from my perspective, where I sit, this college is well on its way. The stage is set, and Coyote Country is ready to thrive. As we know, the Flywheel is gaining momentum in support of our students and community. So, let's join together to show the world what big things this little college can do. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Let's have a great school year. Thank you for joining us. All right, a couple little housekeeping things. We do have our guest speaker, Dr. Tia Brown-McNair, here at 11 o'clock. Our faculty and staff encourage you to come back in and join us for that. Community members are also welcome. And then finally, don't forget, ¿Quiénes somos? Somos LTCC. Get your shirt on the way out and go ahead and rep your Coyote gear. Thanks, everyone. Have a great year.